So, what we thought happened. The ending was predictable, but I'm happy with what happened. Seth Rollins defeats Roman Reigns and CM Punk and becomes a Paul Heyman guy. It was predictable, as I said, but I'm glad it happened. That's what had to happen. And yeah, there we go. It gets us all talking about what's next, what's going to happen now. But that match was very, very, very good. And I don't think WrestleMania 41 Night 1 was the best of shows. I don't. But that main event was very, very, very good. It was proper good long-term storytelling. That is what it was. And I really enjoyed it for the match itself, to be honest. I thought it was very good. People called the build-up messy. I thought it was good. I liked it. And I loved the match. I give the match a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I think we saw some big moments. I mean, we saw Seth and CM Punk go brawling out into the crowd early on. While there was quite a bit of action going on in the ring, but Seth and Punk went into the crowd. Garbage cans were there being thrown, and by Punk and Seth, they were going at each other in front of the crowd, which was good. Roman Reigns had a bit of time in the ring to recover. But, I mean, they all had some big moments. Roman Reigns with a Superman punch to Punk. Punk kicked out of it. Reigns and Seth then going at it as well. There were many good close near falls throughout. The guillotine by Roman Reigns was hit on both Seth Rollins and CM Punk. He had it right on in CM Punk's center of the ring. Punk was able to get out of it, but then eventually we also saw a frog splash while this happened to both Reigns and Punk, where Reigns kicked out of two, which was a good move by Seth Rollins. There was a lot of, coming out of nowhere. That's what we saw in this match, and a lot of it was from Seth Rollins coming out of nowhere, hitting some big moves out of nowhere. And again, guillotine to Seth Rollins. Then Punk comes in, gets something going. Punk hits a go to sleep to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kicked out. Seth Rollins reversed a spear into a pedigree. I believe we saw it at Money in the Bank before quite a few years ago. But again, Roman Reigns kicks out. Roman Reigns can bloody kick out of anything. Apart from the end, though, after what happened. But we will get to that. Again, Seth Rollins had a good showing, good few stomps here to Punk and Reigns. Punk actually, I believe he hit Seth Rollins with his stomp, or was it Roman? But yeah, then whoever it was, they kicked out of it. A good few GTSs were being set up in this match. I believe one was hit on Seth as well. I mean, then, at a point in this match, though, Seth wanted Roman to team up with him onto CM Punk. He's clearing out the announce table, all of that. Seth wanted to hit a double powerbomb with Roman Reigns, bringing back the Shield days with him and with those two and Dean Ambrose. But then Roman Reigns hit Seth Rollins with a vicious uppercut, saying, "I want to do it on my own." Powerbomb CM Punk through one announce table, then get Seth Rollins. Power bombs him through another announce table. And then there we go. Get Seth back into the ring. Seth Rollins is somehow still able to stay in the match after taking a spear. Some massive near falls. And, I had you on the edge of your seat. I knew Roman wasn't going to win. That again, I just wanted to enjoy the match for what it was. And yeah, that's what happened. That is what happened. But then we do get to the ending part of the match, where we of course see Paul Heyman go and get a steel chair. Finally, after waiting so long, Paul Heyman finally decided to get involved. Goes, gets a steel chair, puts it into the ring, and gives it to CM Punk. The look on Roman Reigns' face as he thinks Paul Heyman's turning on him. Paul Heyman then stood behind CM Punk saying, whack him with the chair. Low blow to CM Punk by Paul Heyman. There we go. That is that. And then, steel chair given to Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman's like, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. With tears in his eyes after he low blowed Punk. And then he's looking, pointing to Rollins. Smash the chair on him. And then we see a low blow by Paul Heyman to Roman Reigns. And there we go. So, Seth Rollins, as words used by Michael Cole, has sold his soul to Paul Heyman. There we go. He was stood there with his back. Hand me the steel chair. Heyman gave Rollins the steel chair. Rollins whacked Reigns with it. Gave him a stomp. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins. There we go. It's what we want to see. Seth wins the triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. It's the right result, although it was predictable. It is the right result. That is what should have happened. And what's next? Where do we go from here? That is the interesting question now. The interesting question about all of this is, where do we now go from here? We are going to find out very soon. But the story's interesting, no matter what people say about it. It is very interesting stuff. And that was a very good match, which I will give a 9 out of 10. It saved the show in a way. It did. I feel like that was a match that saved the show in a way. I'm going to do a full show review. Make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, I think it saved the show. We had some, good matches, but they weren't anything special. Then we had the odd pointer matches and some decisions that shouldn't be made. But that was the right booking decision that we saw there. Everything was done correctly overall. It was a very fan-friendly match. It was a very entertaining match with some, big, WTF moments throughout. 100%. We saw some proper big moves being hit. Seth showed his athleticism throughout. Roman showed how bloody technically good he is. CM Punk showed his athleticism and how bloody technically good he is. Right, all different kinds of wrestling styles matching, and they match well. You've got, a good technical wrestler in Punk. You've got a good technical powerhouse in Roman Reigns. And you've got a good, technical athletic guy in Seth Rollins. And it just gelled really, really, really bloody well. And, it's not all done yet. There's still a lot of stories to be told with these three. But Seth Rollins is a Paul Heyman guy. The fourth Paul Heyman guy. Seth Rollins. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. That is what we wanted to see. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for watching.